Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of our City of Mist campaign, The Reaper Soldiers. This is Mr. JP Stilts, and I'm very happy to be back with three of our frequent players, continuing on this strange case of Samuel, zombie things, churches being destroyed, just a whole mess. But we are joined this week by Spawn. I'm going to call you Spawn from now on, Spawn, because it's going well. We also have Spawn's twin brother Spoon, who is also here, and we're starting so well today. We also have Oz and Maru, and I think that's just a preview of how tonight will run. Words is hard, and I haven't even had a drink yet. So I believe.
How did you guess my next character?
I read your mind, I guess. So, as we come back this week, it's the next day. So it's Tuesday, July 16th, and you know it's a nice day. Yesterday was hectic. You went to a church, and there were people there, and they were not nice people, and some of you almost nearly died, but you were able to get some information out of there, which is the reason you were there. You found the little hideaway of the keeper, the one that you're kind of tasked with finding, recovering, just finding out where he might be. And within it, you found some details, notes, a pre-report that he had drafted up about him going to visit a cemetery in the old boroughs called Black Ruins. About 10 days ago, 11 days at this point, there was a list with about 30 names of it, both Silva and civilians. All of the Silva was marked with a little owl next to their name, and about half of them have been crossed out. He had his private notebook that was full of a mixture of things, at first detailing kind of his doubts on the lake situation. He thought the order had something to do with it, but no one's telling him anything. But being so close, he just felt like there was an influence there that he was uncomfortable with. He had a concern over the Samuel person, saying unsure who they are, just seeing the power they hold, and some vague thoughts and opinions about him. And then also his attraction towards Yasmin Diamond is detailed in there, but also, you know, again, kind of stalkerish, or maybe he's just a shy person. The notes were, again, his private thoughts, so they not necessarily coherent in all ways. And then beyond that, you know, you also found the Keeper's Handbook, which is in the pockets, so not everyone found that, but that was located too, and that's really just the basic field guide that was given to the keepers when they are originally tasked to watch over these districts. You learned that when it comes to these undead Samuel soldiers, if you remove their head, they don't tend to get back up again, which is a pretty useful clue. And that through whispers and whistles throughout the wind, it seems Samuel is able to raise those that he has touched at some point. Even if it seems that they should be dead, they don't always stay dead. So we start today. Again, it's Tuesday. Most of you have things you have to do. It's a nice warm day, but with the heat brings the fog and the steam from the cool river, it just sweaty, sticky, you know, kind of one of those muggy days. There's a lot of children playing right now. It's summertime, so there's more children out and about playing, you know, running up and down the street, chasing the stray cats and playing with the dogs and doing all the stuff that kids in the 19th century would actually do. But there's just a feeling of tension throughout the cities. It's in the curtains that are drawn quickly as you walk by, or the faces that turn away after they've been spotted watching you, and the whispered conversations, the gossip and rumors that's echoing throughout the wind of the city. There's just something putting people in the city on edge, but it's been like that. It's kind of normal. So we're going to start off today with a bit of a catch up on normal life. We're going to go through a montage. Basically, we're starting Tuesday. You have some time before we decide for you to go to the cemetery, whatever time of day that might be, where you can catch up on those things outside of the order, outside of this case, touch into your humanity a little bit. So we'll start off with you, William. You just had a rough day of fighting yesterday, successful, but probably still a little bit sore. You used a firearm, which was definitely a strange thing. Yeah, and it was a bit successful as well, which is also a bit strange. So who knows? The next time you go to your dojo, the training might feel a bit different. But let's go ahead and talk. What do you want to spend your time, today doing? I would assume, I guess, as a group, would you be going back to the cemetery during the day, at night? What time of day had you all spoken
Visiting
to?
a cemetery at night. That's
Right?
perfect.
Yeah.
Just perfect. Yeah.
What could go wrong? Probably
What could go
nothing.
wong with only
The
one fighter?
Best
Right.
Yeah.
time.
I would like to go during the day, personally.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Yeah.
That
So
would be
would
great.
are we talking like, morning, afternoon? What time of day
Probably
would
like
you all have planned?
1 or 2 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So still, middle of the day, sun out.
Yeah, not
Absolutely.
super busy. People aren't going to be out.
Heat.
Yeah.
Mhm. No worries. So you have a few hours this morning, from the time you wake up till when you need to travel to the old burrows and meet for the cemetery. So what are you spending the few hours you have this morning doing from that montage move?
Let me look at the montage move.
Yeah, actually, I forgot that was even a move. Ugh,
Yeah, we haven't done it in a while, so I gotta. Let me stretch this out so I can read a bit better. Or maybe not. Okay, thanks. There it goes.
I'm having to calculate.
I think I'm just going to prepare for my next activity.
Perfect. So what does that mean? How do you prepare?
I probably got a little office at home, so I'll probably sit down and read over some of the notes I got, and see if I can find anything that sticks out, and then, maybe get an outfit that's not gonna be a suit that I'm gonna get ruined, and do some stretches and have a good breakfast.
Okay. Yeah, do you have any burnt power tags right now?
No.
Okay. So then you take 3 juice. So
Oh
I
boy.
would say for this, your method, it definitely sounds like you're doing research. So what kind of research are you doing? What's I guess what information do you have available at home, and what specifically are you looking for?
Well, I've been around a bit longer than probably everybody else in the thing. So I probably have a handbook from the order, so I'm probably reading over it and see if I can find any kind of, I don't know, how to deal with undead or conjurers or summoners. I'm sure there's something in there. Probably just trying to see how I can prepare myself to fight something that's not going to stay down.
Right. Okay. Trying to think of how we can create this as juice. I think I think it might be more of an in the moment thing. So yeah, maybe just write it down as like research.
Research into the occult.
Yeah, research and study, something like that. And then, well, when you come to a point where you feel your research would have shown something, that's when we can spend the juice to create a tag or anything that you would normally do with those. Change the game. Juice
Right on.
abilities. So let me go ahead and mark that down here.
Have I recovered from this bite yet?
No, I mean
that
that's
was
a
just yesterday.
That was a
It's
ferocious
ferocious.
bite. Yeah, that's a festering wound. It's there. It will go away if you spend time to make it go away. But for now, all of the medical went in towards saving Eric's life yesterday.
Yeah.
And
Poor
making
Eric.
sure
Yeah.
he survived. All right. So just as we move down the line here, Eric, you had a very rough day yesterday. You almost died.
Yeah.
That was not fun. But hey, you got somehow this other still kind of new member, Georgie, found a weird herb or paste to rub in your wound, and well, you're feeling good today. It's hard to believe anything happened.
Yeah.
But
It might feel that way, yeah.
right. You know, the physical, the mental strain, that's still, you still remember it happening, and you remember what that pain felt like. You might
Yeah.
even be having those phantom pains of still feeling the antler in your shoulder every once in a while. Like just that.
Remember-
Yeah,
Remembering seeing my life flash in front of my eyes.
exactly.
Did you keep the antler as like a little souvenir and hang it from your belt or something?
I should have. I really should have. I might have.
It's a bone
sure,
rattle
Georgie
now.
grabbed it.
Yeah, just kind of this happened to me, be better prepared or safer next time, or just like this is the danger that I face by walking within the order, working for the order. So yeah, what is Eric spending his time this morning doing?
Well, in relation to that, the whole holy crap, I almost died thing. There's this bucket of Golden Oasis tokens, and I didn't cash them out last time.
Right.
I think I'm gonna swing by the casino this morning and cash out some of it. Not all, because I had like a ridiculous amount. And at the time I was concerned because, it seemed awfully weird. But on the other hand, I have an injured father and I almost died yesterday. So my family would have been really screwed if I had died. So I'm going to take out a little bit of money, cash out a little bit of those tokens and start to set up a trust fund of some kind for my family.
Okay. Let's see.
Making that money.
Do you feel like that is going towards any of your logos? Basically, so one of the selections you have there is give attention to one of your logos. I'm not sure if this goes towards that, or we could technically say this is preparing. I'm not sure if this is. Well, that's tough.
Yeah,
I could
don't
definitely
really...
say this would be preparing next activity, and then the juice is just you have lots of money, so then you can spend that juice literally by spending money on different things. Yeah, or that could just be part of what you're doing.
I think part of it is, I don't know, we set a time to meet up, I'm sure. I think what part of it is going to be is, I need the money and I'm going to stow that away. But while I'm at the casino anyways, I'm going to see if I can get a little bit more through tapping into maybe the subversion mythos to kind of like really immerse myself in the weirdness of this casino to try to get a feel for it, what's going on.
Right. No, that would definitely be a let's see, which one is that here? That's logos. Case, prepare. Did I not copy one over? I feel like I'm missing one. Let's see.
Yeah, there is an Explore Your Mythos one. I'm looking at my hardcover, so it's
not sure why that's not on there. Perfect. So yeah, you're heading over to the casino. I think you had about you had quite a bit of money, about £50 worth.
Yeah, it was nuts.
That's about 3 years worth of income for the.
You won the
average.
jackpot.
Yeah, you got some crazy money. But how much of that do you cash out?
I don't want to take so much that it's going to be noticed by the casino. So I'm probably just going to take smaller amounts out over a long period.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, for a middle, I don't know, would you consider your family to be low class or middle class? It's a single family with just one.
Yeah.
Probably low,
Say,
to be honest.
Yeah, I think it would be low.
You would probably have been surviving off of 2 to 3 pounds a year.
Yeah. So
even just taking 1 pound is enough to keep you going for a while. But yeah, no.
I'll take 2. One for immediate home usage if needed, and 1 will be banked.
Right. Perfect. All right. So when you explore your mythos, it says, tell everyone which mystery you explore and how you do it. So the mystery you're exploring would be, let's see, have to go down here. Am I just another prop in another show? How do you tap in that? You know that this is a strange place. Golden Oasis, it's strange. It has that aura of attraction, and then once you're in, it wants to keep you there for a while. So what does Eric actually do to just kind of tap into that strange part of yourself? The one that you've been tapping into a little bit more often, that just gives you that extra flair, and you're not exactly sure where it comes from. You just know it's there. It's like that whisper, always at just the far edge of your hearing. Someone's saying something, but you're not sure what it is.
Yeah, he's going to be engaging in some table games to get kind of a feel for it, because I think actually the mythos is what actually freaked out and caused me to win a jackpot that I wasn't expecting. Like, I think I was using a tag and then something crazy happened off of that. So he's doing that, kind of like spinning these weird like soul coins around and sort of, as he's playing, kind of a fidget or maybe just a gambler's show. I mean, I don't know if you've seen poker and how they kind of like play with their chips, but very similar to that. And he's just really opening his ears and his senses, because we also noticed that there was a creepy priest with an angel shadow, or it was an angel shadow, I think, right?
It was something with wings.
Something with wings. So he's trying to reach out and see if that was something that he can like see again from anybody, and just sort of like kind of spreading out like a sense, like he's tapping into the weirdness of the place and trying to like get a feel for what it actually means.
Right. Okay. So you're taking a bit from what you saw Blanche did, kind of allowing yourself to be more comfortable. So with this, you get 1 clue with a method and source. So the method is literally just, looking and hearing, aware senses, something like that. And then your source is the Golden Oasis Casino. If you have a specific question you wish to ask now about that, definitely we can. If you want to save that clue, again, until you either feel like there might be a relative answer during a future scene, or once you have a specific time that you think you might have a more focused question about your mystery. Either way is completely fine. But yeah, you just kind of spend the first few hours gambling, getting used to gambling small amounts, just in case you ever have to do this again. And you have the money to kind of waste away if needed. And it looks like Roll20 just went down for me, so that's.
Oh,
maybe back up. Yeah, hopefully no big issue.
Yeah,
there.
mine freaked out too.
I think I'm gonna just bank that clue for now.
Absolutely. So you go ahead and mark attention on that theme as well, because you're just tapping into feeling past you. Like you know that there's something out there. It's this metaphysical feeling, urge, the gut in your stomach, and for the first time in a while, you're just allowing you to react to what your gut is telling you to do. Something like that.
Yeah, and I guess it also bears remembering that this is where I got sucked into Blanche's vision as well. So there's a lot of resonant weirdness here.
Yeah, no, it's it's a mixture of things. It definitely has the feeling of a casino where you feel greed, you feel happiness, you feel immense depression. You feel the fakeness of it all. Like, you put on shows, but your shows are kind of real. This would be as if Thad Romano was putting it on. Like, everything, you just feel like it's all fake. It's all for show. But it's obviously very, very successful, and a lot of wealthy people just blow a lot of money here, and a lot of poor people make a lot of money here. So the train agrees. It absolutely agrees.
Why? Hello there, train.
Yeah, so I'm just going to take a quick note here. One clue where senses.
What could go wrong?
Golden.
I mean, Georgia gets to roll. That'll be fun.
All right.
We're going to Spooky Cemetery later. This is going to be fine.
Yeah.
Nothing bad's ever happened in a cemetery.
Never.
No. It's a good place to go. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So you spend some time there. You open your senses. You get your clue. You get your mystery, and then you head to the cemetery. So yeah, let's pop back over. Georgie, it is another day. It's Tuesday. What do you spend the first few hours of the free time you have in your day doing?
I probably would be researching whatever notes I could about that tanning process.
Right.
For the bulletproof tanning process.
Oh yeah.
Sometime.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say this totally goes towards almost two of your logos. Yeah, personality and routine. It probably leans. Yeah, what do you think? I guess from George's perspective, she now has this process to be able to tan leather to make it more resistant to bullets. You're a smart woman. You can understand how this could be sold, say, to the police, to the military, towards any government-based entity. This could be used as a private thing where it's a select few that you give it to. Again, maybe there are judges and businessmen that perhaps need a bit more protection. Or this could be something that could be made probably in mass supply if you had enough resources. If you had a large amount of, the leather and the specific oils and the kind of equipment, the specific boiler and all of that to make a large supply, then it could just be something else to sell in the shop. So yeah, that being said, what direction do you think you would be leaning as far as the logos, which logos you would be kind of focusing on?
Yeah. It's kind of weird, but I feel like it would go towards the defining event because she is ambitious and she would totally take this opportunity to explore where this discovery could take her. But
Right.
she also wants to better equip her crew because we are damage prone.
Right.
So
you literally had to take an antler out of one of your compatriots, so having some kind of armor like this could absolutely help with that. No, that makes
Only
sense.
some
not
of
to
us
say
are damage prone.
it's not completely selfless. It's like she wants to test it first before she can branch out. So
Right.
yeah, I think it would go in that direction.
I'm not saying I wouldn't take any free armor,
So
but
let's see the limits of it.
we're not all damage prone.
Yeah,
No,
no,
but
I
every
think
little bit helps.
Well,
basically just looking at it, it kind of gives how he did it, and it's a matter of having the right ingredients. So for you, for Georgie's kind of history, you're primarily working with fabrics to make gowns and dresses and that kind of stuff. Has she ever worked with anything like this before? Like this, I would see this be more towards shoes, that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
This is not necessarily her field, but she's probably like known other people who make boots, people who like repair bags. Like she's probably been in contact with them to, outsource work or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So she'd be familiar with it, but not to the extent that she can confidently like make pieces of it just yet.
Right.
Not without some sort of tutelage, like from a leather worker.
Yeah, I think basically it's a matter of then you know what to make. It gives the directions. You have to use have to get some beeswax, and that's going to be primarily the lubricant that you used. It needs to be hardened, or it needs to be soaked in a pot at about 180 degrees. Needs to only be in there for about 10 minutes. You have to have forms, whether it's some kind of ball joint and things you probably would have there, figures to be able to form the armor around it while it's starting to harden. And it's all things that you probably would be able to get access to, but the main thing is a type of leather that needs to be used. It has to have been tanned basically using a vegetable tanner. It's a matter of using vegetation, so tree bark, thick things of leaves, things like that as kind of the smoking device. So there's a bit of the water that is removed from these instead of just using cinder or large chunks of wood, coal, that kind of stuff. So it's tanned using more of a steaming process than a normal way of tanning. But beyond that, if you can find that kind of leather, beeswax you already probably have at the Huntsman. That's a fairly common lubricant for any kind of material. And a pot to boil in, I guess if you're not using a massive piece of leather, again, I don't think that's too difficult. So maybe just finding, the resource of where to get the leather itself and going from there. So you can definitely mark attention, and you have all the knowledge you would need. I think the only piece you're missing is just the leather itself. You know that there is some still back at the church. It wasn't a ton, but it's still there. But you might have some resources. You obviously know suppliers, so it might just be something else you have to add to your next supply.
Yeah. Probably just slip in extra, like, oh, this is for a customer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, go ahead and mark attention to that. And so as we get to the afternoon, I why not just start the day off with a bang and go ahead and roll on these this train sheet. Georgie, if you could do me a favor and roll me a D3, please. All right. Well, William, that is you, my friend. Go ahead and roll me 2d10.
Of course it is.
All right, so
Oh,
we
boy.
have a 10 and a 4.
Any other time that'd be okay. No. Mr. Thomas is gonna rail me.
All right. So as everyone kind of begins heading towards the cemetery, it's again mid-afternoon. The sun is high, still warm, sticky, muggy. William, as you were traveling, you decided to take some of your mail with you. just to kind of go through on the trip to the cemetery. He kind of grabbed it on the way out. And while the most of it is just standard stuff, you know, bills and all of that, there is a summons in there from the school board. They have requested to speak to you towards the end of the week about some recent events that have occurred. And it is signed by Superintendent Oliver, the gentleman that did take you to the hospital. But yeah, they have a specific request to speak to you. On the end of this week.
It's okay, I got words for him.
Yeah, you absolutely got some words. But you all, I guess, would you have planned? It's the Old Burrows, so there's coffee shops. There's some really old, you know, strange kind of stores here. It's the oldest part of the city beyond Cross End. Cross End was old, but it was like slums, so no one went there. The Old Burrows, they've kept it up. It still has the original stones in the road. All of the buildings are that old kind of sun grade, you know, brick. There's just a lot of old iron lights that hang over, and the fences all have that kind of gothic feel to it. All the streets are a bit narrower, like closer together, so it's a little more difficult to bring carts down through there. You have to walk through many spots. There's the university. There's Eric's favorite library that I know he's absolutely going to want to go back to. Mm-hmm. There's a variety of some of those buildings, and there's kind of a poshness to it. You know, everybody's kind of proud of the history of this district. You know, we still have it. It's like it hasn't been touched in so long, but honestly, it just feels like a bunch of dust, you know, kind of a bunch of old people living in an old place. And if you have no reason to be here, you're not here. So would you all plan to just go and meet directly at the cemetery, or meet somewhere beforehand and go there together?
I feel like going there together is probably our smarter choice.
Yeah. Well, we meet at Timothy's, right? He's in the Old Borough, right?
He is. Yeah, he has his shop there.
Considering I haven't seen him in forever, we'll go there and...
That sounds good. Yeah, so Timothy, his shop, he's a doctor. I don't know if Georgie or Eric would have ever had any reason to go here, but it's a little brownstone, kind of sitting on the corner of a street. He has his office down on the bottom. He lives up above. One of those typical glass doors with his name kind of painted on the front. As you open the door and enter, there's a counter with a little bell on it, kind of a sign-in book. Back behind, there's a little desk, and then there's a curtained off kind of area that seems to lead to some rooms in the back. There's a few benches in this front room, probably a bit of books. There's the smell of cigars and kind of that medical clean smell, acetone, whatever he uses to clean, bleach and all that stuff. And it's quiet. You know, it's the middle of the day, so it's open. He probably had the door open, honestly, just to let some of the air through. And you probably hear him in the background, just cleaning, doing something. But he doesn't appear to be out front right now. So, William, do you go and like ring the bell, or?
Oh yeah, is what's his name still working here, or did he get taken away?
You don't see him.
Kid. Well, then I guess I'll ring the bell.
Yeah, after a few minutes, an older man walks out. He's wearing one of those uniforms that you've seen throughout the city. These warriors, military men of sorts that fought in this strange war, but no one seems to be able to remember. He's wearing his uniform. Above it, he has his white lab coat, wears glasses, and he has a few cigars packed. He peeks his head out of the curtain, sees William, comes up. William, you look well. Welcome. Is anyone hurt? What brings you here? It's been far too long. Come, please come in. And he kind of welcomes you to join him in the back.
I'll follow him in the back. Yeah, we're just here as a stop off, a nice little meetup point. We're on our way for investigations.
Oh, yes. I take it these two, and he kind of references towards Eric and Georgie. They must be newcomers then. Well, hello. My name's
Hello.
Dr. Timothy. It's very nice to meet your acquaintance. That not too long ago, I worked alongside William here within the order. Unfortunately my duty has beckoned, so I haven't been able to spend that much time. But it is very nice to meet. What are your names?
I am Eric. Eric Wessler.
Georgie Green.
Eric, very nice to meet you, and very nice indeed. So tell me, you're out on investigation. I won't lie, I have been a bit bored. There's not a lot going on here in the district, and I do miss the excitement at some time. So what is it? What are you investigating? Where are you going?
To the graveyard. I've got a little book of notes I'll hand him, you know. We've been investigating some strange happenings with the dead.
Out at Black Ruins, then. Yes. No, that strange. I'd had to send, unfortunately, quite a few individuals there. Old age. It is an unfortunate thing we all must carry along, isn't it? A thing. You know what? I'll just drag myself in too much. So what can I help you with?
Oh, I don't really know why we came here. It was
To
just
see
a
an old
place to
friend, I
meet
have
up.
no doubt.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
course.
It's very nice. That boy that we sent here, Dominic. Yes. Unfortunate. What happened? Did you read the newspaper? He arrested. What was that? 2 weeks ago. Charged with a whole slew of crimes. Some deaths behind a coffee store. Something happened out at the residential district. I guess there were more people killed in a house over there. It's so strange. He never seemed to be a foul individual. Maybe a bit angry, absolutely, but he was helpful while he was here.
Yeah, I'd heard of that.
Oh, well, it's a unfortunate thing. The city, it bites into you and it doesn't let go. It takes everything from you. Like I said, it's been great to see. Honestly, William, you must join me at the Gentlemen's Club at some point. The men there, they won't mind. All we do is sit around, drink, and talk about the old days, anyways. But they have some really quite good whiskey. Eric, you would be welcome as well. Kind of looks towards you, Georgie, and Georgie, if you ever need any help, any medical aid, feel free. Come here. I'm more than happy to offer services to fellow warriors of the light. Kind of gives this big goofy grin.
I nod.
Appreciate the offer.
Oh, of course,
Yeah.
of course.
If I have time.
Well, you know where I am. I don't plan on going anywhere, but well, I guess I'll leave you to it then. Again, if you need anything, feel free to find me. It was very good to see you, William. Very good indeed. Is Mike still with you?
Unfortunately, yeah.
And
He's
that
still...
that Calvin individual.
I have no idea. He's disappeared.
I never liked him, really. He always set me the wrong way. You make sure to keep an eye on Mike, though. That boy, he can be helpful, but a bit dense sometimes. Make sure he lives so close and I haven't seen him. Do be sure to tell him I'm only a few blocks away. I'm sure he could use a friend at some point, and I'm more than happy to perhaps offer him a bath if he needs one. I know he needs one often.
We've tried. He still doesn't agree.
Well, anyways, it was great to see you, meet you all. Feel free, use the space as you need. I'll stay out of your way.
Have you heard anything about corpses that don't stay dead?
Corpses that don't stay dead. Well, I've read many many stories on such things. I have heard, kind of leans forward on the counter, and there's been some rumors, some gossip coming from the West Slums about something of the sort. But is that what you're dealing with right now? Is that why you're going to the cemetery? Are they rising again? Huh. You can see this little twinkle in his eye, like, double the patrons. Is this a whole other audience of possible patients I might have?
An underserved audience of formerly dead people. West Slums is where it was at, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, something is bringing them back and controlling them, dominating them. That's why we're checking out the cemetery.
Have you encountered these individuals in person, or are you going to just investigate?
Quite a few.
I see. Tell me, did they have the full capability of a human? What? You must, and you can, like, you see him pull out a note, and he's getting really interested in this.
Well, I'm not a doctor, but I give him the best rundown that I can.
Fascinating. Able to still move, seeming still brain dead. That is an issue. That. So there's someone doing this to them. That would make sense. You mentioned the the beast. That brings kind of winks towards William. Brings back some memories, doesn't it? What seems to be the big problem? Of course, the dead walking around again, that can be a nuisance, but that can't be all. What seems to be the big problem? Is this why they actually have the district in lockdown right now? Is it because of these walking dead?
It's who's controlling them, I think, really.
This Samuel character.
They're basically an army, a renewable army for him.
I see. That's... Again, you can tell he's thinking a little bit. That's interesting. Well, you'll have to come back and tell me about this individual that seems to control them. I won't lie, if I'm not a bit intrigued about what they're able to do to that would be something. If a doctor could do that, I could do quite well with that. Yes. No, I'm only able to do a few things. William's scene. I am definitely touched. He kind of goes and pulls up this brown bag and he opens it, and There's a variety of strange bottles with pills and tinctures and all that kind of stuff. I've done my share of supernatural healing, and he kind of wiggles his fingers as he says that. Whatever it is, I'm not quite sure, but certainly I've been able to touch those that need to be healed. But bringing them back from the dead, that is not something I'm not talented with that blessing. So yeah, please, you must go. You must learn. Bring back all of the information. If you could bring one of them here, I would pay you. If you bring one of these dead, preferably, well, they wouldn't be alive, still moving. Yes, still moving. I would pay you for such things. Yes.
I mean, there's a few at the church.
There's many churches, William. What church do you refer to?
It was the Old Burrows, wasn't it? Yeah.
The church
that
in the
was
West
the name of
Slums?
Yeah, that one, the West Slums. Yeah.
Oh,
The one where we just murdered everybody.
William, you know what I'm capable of. I don't think. Again, if you have the time, if you have the capability to bring one to my shop again, I will be happy to pay for it. I understand. You're busy. You have many dangers you must face. So if it is going to be a nuisance, that is not a problem. I only ask that maybe you come back, you share a story with an old friend. Bare minimum, that's all I can expect.
Oh, Doc, I have a problem that you might be able to help me with.
Oh, yes.
The whole blood thing.
The whole...
You remember the horse and the...
I do, yes. How is that? Have there been any recent, kind of looks towards Eric and Georgie, situations?
Oh, no. Well, maybe, but I've fought them off. I would like a more permanent solution to the problem.
I see. And how are you... you know what, come, give me a moment. And he goes to pull William kind of back into one of the private rooms. They're not necessarily private. Everything's kind of curtained off, but he has obviously his working area and a little place to look over his patients and all that. But he, tries to usher you, William, to a bit more privacy to take a look at you.
Yes. There've been cravings, but I've been managing to ignore them.
And that's good. What have you, meditation? How have you been doing this?
Willpower, mainly.
That's very good. That's very good, William. Say, what happened to your finger there?
Oh, I got bit by one of them creatures.
Oh, this is from one of them. Reaches down, pulls your hand up, sees this nasty big bite. That can't feel very good. No, not at all. You know what?
Quite a bit, yeah.
I have something for that. He gets his bag, he opens it, and ruffles through and pulls out, and appears to be some cream. Twists it open, and there's a bit of a floral scent that comes out. He pulls some of this white paste out and is about to apply it to your hand. Do you let him?
Sure.
Okay.
I trust him well enough.
Yeah, he begins to apply it, and there's a tingling sensation there, a bit like dipping your finger into a warm cup of water. Not a burning hot, but a warm cup of water. The wound begins to feel a bit more solid, and as he's doing this, he kind of grabs your finger and closes his eyes a bit. You've seen him do this before. It appears he's trying to do one of his scans on you.
Last time he did this, he was high as shit. So.
Mm-hmm.
So sure, why not? We'll see how it goes. Hopefully, I don't come out with some kind of plague.
He opens his eyes. That's good. Yes, the blood of the animals. That's good for now, but no, I feel that beast within you still. It's still trying to scratch its way out. No, you need a more permanent source. I've heard some rumbling, some things. I still have access to some of the kids, you know, our little birds, as they were, and
The kids.
the
For the kids.
Absolutely, yes. There's been others like you. There was actually a report of someone like you in the West Slums recently.
Oh, yeah.
An attack
hold
that
on.
took place.
I have his name actually. Where is it? Where did it go? Nadiv Friedman, yeah?
I'm not sure who that is,
No.
but
No, the other guy.
that
Nadiv
was
the dude from the
correct.
casino.
Nadiv was
the
the
other-
body in the well. Nadiv Friedman was.
Yeah,
the
no,
body
I
in
thought
the
I
well.
knew the name of the other guy. I just,
Well, that
had it
was.
written
Nadiv is the one he's talking about,
Mhm.
but he just doesn't know it's him. But there's. He's not alone. There's a few doctors that have been a bit busy, I guess. Anyways, yes, there might be something for you. Yeah. There's a
willing to try.
bar in downtown. It's called Irony. They serve a drink there. Now, I can't confirm this. Again, this is just rumblings in the medical community and through the little birds, but apparently you are not alone with this hunger. And those that do not wish to feed on flesh seem to dine or drink at this place. And Irony the bar would be the same name as the flyer you found in Nadiv's chest. Full of money.
Oh. All right.
But you might be able to find something there. Something you're looking for. And as he's kind of finishing that, he grabs a wet rag and wipes your finger off. And you notice that it's definitely, it's scabbed over. It's not fully healed. Like, it's healed, but it hasn't, the skin itself hasn't, like, healed. There's still a scab, but you can go ahead and remove that status.
Oh, cool. Thank you, Doc.
Oh, of course. Always to help. You know, I may not be there, but I'm a stone throws away. Whether it's this or anything else, or you just need someone to talk to, feel free. Come by. If you ever have any of those hungers again, be sure to just come talk. I have ways of calming you down, as you remember. Say, how's Jillian these days?
Oh, fantastic. She's actually pregnant.
Yeah, his eyes widen a bit.
Yeah, it's a shock. I don't know. I guess we're just lucky.
He smiles and nods. You feel like he might be holding something in, like definitely restrained. That is such great news, William. Please, you must bring her in. A conversation if you wish for me to check on her, anything like that. But I would love to see her. That
We should
is
come by next
beautiful.
Saturday.
You know what? Are you still at the school?
Yes. For now.
Next Saturday. You know what? I shall. That'll be beautiful. I'll bring over a bit of tea. It will be great to just have a civil conversation amongst people. Again, the men at the club, they are just cranky old men, and honestly, they need muzzles. That's what they need. William, you're a busy man. I can tell you have many things going on. Keep me in mind if you need anything else. And again, for those two new how are they? Have they been serving well? Everything on the up and up within the crew?
they're pulling the weight for now.
Good. Well, let him know.
Georgie's looking through all his stuff while they're in the back.
Yeah, it's
Casually.
that you easily find like medical files on a variety of civilians of the old boroughs with a variety of conditions and ailments. He doesn't necessarily keep that all locked away, but yeah, it's just a lot of medical jargon and books. He seems to be a fairly popular doctor. I mean, he's got quite a file of patients. And he's been doing this for a while, so he's built a semi-trust, in the community. But you also, again, you get the feeling that he's not just a doctor. Like, there's something more to him. He's also bragged about it, so I think he's kind of a bit too comfortable talking about these strange powers he has, because he knows why you guys are all together. You're all part of a crew that he used to be in. So he's a bit more comfortable talking with that. So in a way, you might see Georgie, and Eric, you too. He's kind of scamming the system. He's using his powers to make his patients heal up and feel real good, which maybe is not a bad thing. Everybody gets what they want, but in a way, it's kind of cheating.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Cool. Is there anything I could nick while I'm here?
Let's investigate. Yeah. Well, I guess
You just take a box of rubber gloves and some tongue depressors.
No. Straight for the drugs. I go.
Oh, okay. I would say that this is going to be more of a change the game. Yeah, I think you're trying to get yourself.
I'll warn you now. He keeps all the good stuff with him, and everything else it's there.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely find all of the standard. He even has like some opiates and that kind of stuff there. Like, it's not there. There's probably some liquid cocaine. Like, we're talking 19th century. There could be some crazy stuff.
Ask him.
It's Georgie. She doesn't know who this strange guy in a strange suit is. He went in the back. Yeah, no, let's change the game and see.
Sure. Rob my coworker. It's okay.
He said to, utilize him. He didn't necessarily mean.
I wouldn't say he's a friend, but the coworker. So go ahead, rob him. I'll cover, sure.
Hey,
oh,
this
Doc,
could
I got a
save your
cough.
life later. All right. Let's see, I'll do definitely opportunists. And ambition and always prepared. But he's already seen my face, so I'll mark that. Dang it.
And do you feel like you're trying to hide this from Eric as well? Or is Eric there?
No.
Eric's just like staring and watching you.
What are you up to?
He's just like handing you things off a shelf. Like, here, how about this? One of these.
He'll be my accomplice. Like, I can't reach that. I'm gonna need you to grab that one for me.
Look, let me stand on your shoulders. I gotta get up on top of this shelf here.
Alright, so I'll do this. Alright.
Oh, you are.
That's bad.
I suck.
The whole shelf comes falling down and like
The
liquid
bad
acid.
rolls are continuing from last week. This is no good.
No.
Yeah. So you begin just reaching kind of through his cabinets, just searching for something, and unfortunately you find the bin where he disposes all of his used needles. And you're trying to be quick about it. You're trying to be quiet, but you're not necessarily paying all that attention because every once in a while you have to look over your shoulder. And yeah, you get pricked pretty hard by one of the needles, and I'm gonna have you face danger against a tier 3 drugged status.
Oh, jeez. Oh, no.
Good thing I'm in a doctor's office.
Balls.
And I think the only reason I'm having you face danger and not take it immediately is like you have that touch, especially with your new touch into the pharmca. Like, you have that very basic knowledge, just that quick touch into the medical part of it, that maybe you feel that coming and you just have a chance to try to resist it a little bit.
well then, I will add that and hope for the best.
Good luck. Hey, like, yeah, take that.
I survived!
Get out of here, drug.
Somehow, you feel your finger still get pricked. Like, you pull it out and there's still blood there, but you're able to maybe quickly rub, stick your finger into your bag and just rub some of that balm you used for Eric the other day on it. But yeah, you didn't find anything. And just as like you're pulling your hand and you're kind of rubbing your finger, that's when Timothy and William kind of come out of the back room. Timothy gives you a look and, all right, William, well, it was good to see you. You too as well. If there's anything you need, feel free to come by. Anything at all. Feels like he directs that kind of towards Georgie, who's standing behind the counter for some reason.
A very solemn nod.
You all stay safe. Stay safe. It was good seeing you again. Thanks for stopping by. It's a beautiful day. I might actually go for a walk a bit later and soak up the sun a bit. We don't get it enough around here.
Well,
Thanks for first one out the door. Bye.
Well, I guess we're leaving. See you later, Timothy.
Have fun storming the castle.
Good meeting you, Doctor.
Yeah, you as well, Eric. You as well. As you exit, you can see him start to take inventory, like looking around. What is missing? There's got to be something missing here.
I'm gonna... Did you really try to rob him? I mean, you act like we couldn't hear you through the curtain. It's a sheet.
That loud.
You about knocked over a shelf. What are you talking about?
Just trying to see if he had any good stuff.
You could have just asked. He probably
Would he
would
have
have
told
given it to
me?
you. Yes. Why does he care?
He has a reputation.
He heals people with his hands. He doesn't need medicine.
So what does it matter if something was missing?
I trusted you.
Well, I didn't take anything, so... Yeah.
So as you're having this conversation, you all begin to head towards the graveyard. It's not too far away. It's kind of, again, on the edge of town. You want to make sure all the bodies aren't floating away, but it's one of those older ones. You feel like at one point it may have been closer to the center of the district, but it's now, the district has just kind of moved away from it. Gravestones line the entire graveyard. Some seem to be recently placed, others cracked, crumbling, falling to the ground. There's mold that cover the engravings dedicated to the dead. There's trees leaning towards the stone, branches reaching out from each other. There's a spiked black fence that surrounds the graveyard, almost like it's a prison. The smell of old stone fills the air. There's weeds covering the graves of the dead. During the day, as you're here, there's some loved ones that are still paying respects towards those that passed long ago, others for those that may have passed recently. There's some people that seem to just like to walk up and down the gravel paths that weave like a maze throughout the entire area. Everyone allows, passersby to pay their respects to the people lined up in the Earth's embrace. It's an active place. There's probably about, I would say, 10, 15 individuals throughout the entire graveyard. There are a few, they look like mausoleums or larger tomb-like structures throughout, and just graveyards or grave markings everywhere, tombstones everywhere, like they've been just stacked on top of each other. But you all kind of stand at the front entrance. What would you like to do?
Well, I guess do we know what we're looking for?
That's what I was going to ask. Do we have anything on our notes as to what we were looking for?
You just know this was the last place he had planned to go. On the pre-report, again, 10 days ago, this was the location that he was going to.
Okay.
Can I touch whatever moss is on the grave and see what it can tell me?
Absolutely. Yeah, you kind of walk in and find a grave. It looks like it's been there for a while. The date on it looks to be about 70 years old. Just an older tombstone. It sounds like you're trying to investigate, so absolutely, let's dive in to this place.
Alright.
In we go.
Green speech, ambition, and investigate. Sweet.
Nice. Yeah, 2 questions. So you feel that there's a lot of nature around here. There's the trees, the flowers that have been left behind, the flowers that have been planted at the few graves. Obviously the grass, the weeds, and the moss growing everywhere. So as you reach into the nature, what are your questions?
And can I discern anything that's unnatural, or I don't even know if Greenery could tell me that. But just
that would be more looking beyond what you're looking at now. I'm not sure plants could necessarily show you beyond the physical realm. There is another move called Look Beyond the Mist, which is when you reach inside to get in touch with your mythos, you can feel the truth behind things without even knowing how. Play it out like the Investigate move, but roll plus mythos instead. So that would be when you're more purposefully looking beyond the mist, like what Blanche did in the casino, spending some time to look past the facade. But for this one, using nature, yeah, it's probably going to be more natural responses it can give.
do you guys have anything you want to ask this moss?
I mean, what do you ask a plant? Have you been watered lately?
Well, it's
probably,
connected to everything in here. Graveyard, so.
About the ask him about if it's seen the owl guy.
Yeah, the guy that
Okay.
Merindid Miscelendindo or whatever the hell his name is.
Right.
Always coming up with these weird names still, so I can't pronounce them.
So yeah, I guess, how would you explain that to a plant? You've never seen what he looks like, you just have a name, so how would you explain to nature?
Well, we know he wears like a... the I'm assuming a bit of meta here, but I'm assuming she's seen a picture of the outfit that he wore. You know, his sketchings.
Right. Again, in the past,
like
when she's looked through the plants, it's giving you kind of senses of things that have occurred near it. So, like, people moving by, vague, like, times that you're looking for it. For a plant to be able to recall a specific place or a specific person might be a bit difficult. So maybe it has to be more, again, we're using the moss as kind of your beacon to be able to search things. So could it be, again, you were in there for a while, Georgie, there was definitely a musk to the room. So, you know, a scent. Has this scent been here? Something like that? Or...
Probably a scent combined with a heavier set of footsteps and like.
Yeah.
You assume he's wearing armor, so he's probably going to have a heavier tread than most.
Right.
Okay. He's going to have a specific, scent. Especially if he's wearing the armor that he made, because leather that's been tanned does have a very particular smell to it.
Yeah, I think what you get from the moss is, yeah, definitely a presence. Like you definitely feel the person here. It's almost like you can see his footprints without seeing him. walk through, and as it passes, you know, the flowers and the bushes, again, you're almost like watching this shadow, this, it's not giving you the full detail, but you can definitely see it's here. He kind of walks towards the center, and then the footprints become more sporadic. A fight, he's running, he's doing something. And then the footprints appear to be no longer walking, but being dragged. And you follow this gravel, and again, it's almost like you're seeing the gravel being kicked up, like someone's being dragged away. And it's dragged up and around past the trees, back to the far back corner of the graveyard where one of these tombs are, and the trail kind of ends at that tomb.
Cool. Well, I'm going to assume we just all followed it there, or at least they followed me as I began walking.
Oh,
Yeah.
did you start
weird.
following the path?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Because
No.
it's looking like it's in motion, so I'm going to go ahead and blindly follow it, regardless of what may be ahead.
Okay. Here we go. She's following the plan.
All right. Well, we've done dumber things, probably.
All right. Yep. Give me.
Well,
a
we only came
moment
to another
here.
grave, so surprise.
Give me 1 second here. Gotta pull all your things over because, yeah, we're moving to a map. No specific reason we'd be moving to one, but
I'm
we
sure
are
it's fine.
definitely moving there.
Battle map.
There we go. We got an Eric. We got a Georgie. Got ourselves a William. Come on, map. Work with me here. Sometimes I wish Roll20 was not as laggy as it is. So I know exactly what happens here. So yeah, you guys are hopefully all here now.
Oh,
So basically you
boy.
walk in, and immediately Eric and William, you see Georgie go up to one of these tombs and place her hand on it, and then she begins to walk this way. And you begin to follow her, but you definitely notice that there's a guy walking around this tree. And he's a big guy, and he's walking in that motion that you're kind of familiar with, but that's not really what is concerning you all that much. It's the dog that he's walking with, this Doberman, mean, angry-looking dog that they're just seeming to patrol this graveyard, and yeah, kind of in a blind stupor. Georgie is heading right towards him.
Well, that isn't good. That isn't good at all.
I don't want to fight a dog. Maybe you should stop her while I go
Yeah.
over, you know. I can't control my token, so I would go
can't?
over here.
Oh, no.
Nope.
No, I want that. Move your tokens. Let's see. Why? That's stupid. This is William.
That is me. Yay! I would go over
Save.
here.
And this is Eric. Save. Why did these not save? I pulled them from your character sheet. That is weird. And there's Georgie. So Georgie, your path led basically through the front gates, so up this way, had some kind of thing here, and then was dragged up around the tree and then over to that tomb. But yeah, so William, you're going to stop her?
No, I'm gonna go make sure the random person doesn't come down and attack people. I'm
Right.
just gonna kind of be in between Eric's gonna stop her.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will come up alongside Georgie and be like, maybe we should take a different route. One of those things is right over there.
Yeah, but it's going that way. Are they
Oh, what
coming
is
back
this
around?
token now?
That's just some people. We got some people in here. Just putting some people down.
Jesus, that was a menacing looking crowd.
Yeah.
It's
This
like,
is
oh god, this has gone bad already. George, run away.
Left 4 Dead style right now.
No, that's just the random people that are in here. Yeah, I mean, there's enough people in here that you guys all see him, but for the moment, it doesn't seem like he sees you. And yeah, I mean, it looks right now, if you hadn't encountered, this just looks like a guy walking a dog through the graveyard. It's just a large, dark gray Doberman. It will stop and sniff at the graves and doesn't really growl at anyone. They walk by. But as you look around a bit more, you do notice that there is another one outside of the walls as well. It seems to be patrolling around the further path. But they are definitely moving about. But yeah, I guess, Georgie, as you come out of it, you can definitely point them towards the tomb that you saw the trail ends at. But you do have another question. So is there anything else you ask the plants while you still have a moment?
Did the person leave? Alive?
Yeah. Are they still here? Alive?
I mean, probably can't tell if they're alive or dead. Well, the plants might be able to tell in a graveyard what's dead and what's not.
Right. Yeah, I think they show something, but it's hard to tell at first what it is. You feel the presence, not dead, being moved out of the tomb, but the trail is kind of lost because it seems he's placed on something, and it musks the scent a bit. So he left that place alive, but where he went, the plants are having a hard time telling you, because he was probably put on a wagon or carried or something where he just, they're not able to follow his path very clearly.
Got it.
Right on.
Okay.
Where is my iPod? There it is.
Does this guard seem to be moving in a clockwise motion around this tree, or?
It seems that he's actually heading down this path. And as he's doing that, it appears this one is making its way up the path. So if you had to guess, one follows this square path here, the other follows this square path here.
It's like Zelda.
Like, what's it now?
Zelda.
What's that? Who's that?
Another girl at the orphanage.
Oh.
She thought she was a princess.
Oh. Sorry. Must get into a lot of trouble that way.
Oh, she does.
So I guess we're going around. Yeah.
Yeah, he's going one way and we're going around the other side of it.
Wait, don't go in there yet.
I'm not.
Yeah, maybe I should go first.
At least pretend like we know this grave and are
well, there's no way. Wait. You all are moving way too fast. Yeah, you don't even get that far.
Jeez. Okay.
You probably make it. You probably make it to that pylon there when you can see there's two other individuals standing in front, and they're kind of nearby. Looks like a wagon that definitely has a coffin on the back of it. The door of the tomb is closed. Yeah, they're standing there. It looks like they either just loaded this coffin on the back, or they are about to unload it in the tomb. But as you begin to move kind of closer that way, yeah, you start to hear some growls a bit coming from the dog that's coming around this way, and it definitely seems to feel something's off about you three, kind of just beelining it through the grave and not really stopping to pray at anything, especially towards this direction. This one here definitely seems to have noticed the three of you, and the rest of the families are all, they're paying respects to various graves. It seems that's what people are expected to do. But you three just charging through, it's not liking that very much. So I think that's the situation. You see that there's two folk there at the tomb, and the guy and his dog are heading towards your direction. It seems the dog is definitely leading the man.
Oh, great. Of course, yeah. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
Are there any open graves? Like, ones that are being repaired?
I don't want to jump in a grave. But
You don't?
You
Weird.
sure? It's good fun.
I spent plenty of time as a grave as a kid, And look what happened to me. Look at me now.
I feel like there might be. There's definitely it's a full place, but there might be something around here. I would say let's try to change the game. You're trying to give yourself an advantage to get out of be avoided by this dog. So let's change the game as you begin to scope it out. If either one of you have a help point and you want to help her with this, we could definitely talk about what you're doing to help, whether it is a distraction to the dog or something like that.
I've got one. I guess I'll help.
Yeah, so with your juice again, you could create, a distraction to give her time to look fuller, or you can just give her extra pair of eyes searching. That could be a tag as well.
Yeah, I'd probably just, I guess, help look. No, right. I'll distract.
Okay. So yeah. How do you distract the dog? Do you just? Yeah,
I'm gonna try to play fetch with it.
Okay, so you break a tree branch off and you just try to throw it.
Well, I'll walk up to like, oh, it's a cute doggy. Like, I don't know that it's evil, and just be like, yeah, what a cute little doggy. Yeah, hi, little doggy.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as you get within about 10 feet from it, it stops and it just starts growling at you, just,
Oh, mister, control your dog.
But you have a moment, Georgie, to, definitely survey the scene for any hidey places. Go ahead and change the game and add his little help point +1 to that.
Alright. That is opportunist and I on the exit and change the game.
Correct, yeah, change the game.
Cool.
Oh yeah. Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, so basically you're trying to create a story tag of some place to hide.
Or, if it's close enough, can we lure them towards it and somehow entrap them in it?
But Georgie, that's entrapment.
Okay.
That it is.
Yeah, so you're trying to find an open grave, but now you want to get the dog to go into it.
Are you trying to get us murdered?
Yeah, no, I think that might be your thought process. You find, I'm gonna say it's like this grave right here because it kind of looks like it's been dug out. Like you definitely find one that appears it's being prepared for a burial. It's about 10 feet deep, and that's the story tag. So that's one of your 3 juice. Just creating the open grave story tag. What you do with that? Yeah, what you do with that grave, I think will be up to you. Eric, as Georgie kind of goes to survey the grave, are you following her, or Are you watching William? What's Eric up to?
I think I see what she's trying to do. I also see a group that are really nearby that don't really need to get involved in whatever is about to go down. So, I am going to.
Sorry, I'm digging through my cables here.
It's about 1 or 2 in the afternoon at this point. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Trying to come up with a convincing lie to get these people to leave. If things start to go really bad, they don't need to see undead zombies and dogs.
Right, and I mean,
that's going off. Like, I don't. Yeah, that's not.
And to you looking around, the men and the dogs, they look normal, other than you've seen them before. It's clear that these are more of Samuel's soldiers, but to them, they just look like guys walking their dogs in the graveyard, gravekeepers or whatever. But yeah, absolutely. Like, you see women, children, there's families here. It would be a mess.
I'm going to. I'm usually wearing a suit, even if it's not the most high quality suit. It is, part of the image that I need to project. So I've got a suit on, and I'm going to kind of start trying to gather up the people that are nearest to where this chaos is about to go down. And I'm going to tell them that is there like a city council or some.
Each district has their own kind of leader. You have, oh boy, I have to actually search for him again because I don't even remember. It's the same guy that William dealt with long ago. What was his name?
Let me look at my notes. I might actually.
Counselor Amagi. Yes, Counselor Amagi. He is basically consider him like the mayor of this district.
Okay.
He's been in the papers recently because he's the one that received the rights to develop around the Emerald Lake, basically, from the old boroughs. He's kind of taking over that part of the city too.
Is he known for being kind of a jerk, kind of a rich jerk? Or is there somebody that I am aware of who is well known for being a rich jerk? Like somebody who would want a private time at the cemetery and therefore try to force people out so that they can have their individual time there without these peasants around?
Yeah, I mean, you've probably been through enough shows that you have those VIPs. So why don't you tell me, who is a wealthy VIP that comes to all of your shows?
Sure, let's come up with something. As soon as I remember the names of the people that I've already said so that I don't accidentally just reuse names. Sorry, flipping through notes.
No, don't apologize.
My notes
I
are
do the
scattered,
same thing.
and my notes are scattered and random and strange. And
Luckily,
I
can cut around this stuff, so it's no big deal.
Okay. Ugh. I had a list of names that I gave you, but I don't know where they are now. The name of the asshole magician?
Romano.
Romano.
That is, let's see, there's Thad, that's the son, and the father, his name is Max Romano. He's the producer of your show.
All right, and he's kind of a dick. So yes, he's going to be the one who. No, I'd better not, because then they'll come back to me. There is a eccentric, wealthy man. Trevor Oakes, who lives in one of the fancier districts, who has come down to one of my shows, and he always needs like a private box with curtains so that he doesn't have to look at the peasants, so he could just see the show. So nobody knows where he got his money. but he's wealthy as all get out, and he just doesn't take no for an answer.
Mhm.
So I'm going to tell the people that are over here in this area that Mr. Oakes is coming, and he needs everybody to leave for a time. Perhaps come back in an hour or so, but you must leave immediately.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go ahead and roll convince and just see how well the message gets across. And yeah, I mean, again, you can definitely tie into your presenter and all that kind of stuff. Those
Yes.
tags, absolutely.
Am I going crazy, or is some of these cards looking a little blurry on Roll20?
I've noticed that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, they definitely are. It's weird.
All right, so Art of Deception and Lies, and Center of Attention. So I got 3 tags on it, and I am willing to have at it.
Perfect. Convince these folk.
Actually, let me take a quick moment. Okay, nope. None of that is dynamite yet.
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, the status you're saying is basically the wrath of Trevor Oakes, and it's
Yes.
a wealthy person. Yeah, I don't see any reason why any of these people would try to resist this. Yeah, they're definitely gonna start making their way. You might notice that they're not necessarily doing it very quickly, though. Like, they're starting to make their way out, but they're not being very fast about it. So as that's happening, William, yeah, you've just kind of walked straight up to the dog, and it stopped, and it's growling. The man behind looks at you and definitely notices you and just kind of leans its head. The dog is just there, kind of bent down, hind legs, growling, saliva's kind of dripping down. It's not liking you. It's getting a read off you that it's not a fan of.
Wasn't that too bad for little puppy? Oh no, he don't like me. I'm just gonna wave and say, okay, your dog is mean. I'm not gonna be here, and I'll walk away.
Yeah, as you definitely walk away, and you hear it growling for a while. You notice that the growl, it echoes deep within it. Like, you've heard dogs growl before, but this is a much deeper, more menacing growl than you've heard. As you begin walking away, you notice that while this guard definitely seemed to have moved, the attention has definitely kind of made it turn around and is just watching over the graveyard here. So this is kind of the situation you all find yourself. William is walking back towards the center. For the moment, the dog and the man are watching. These families are slowly moving their way through. Georgie, you have found an open grave about 10 feet deep. Eric, you're watching this family go away. There are 2 of these men that are standing by this wagon up at the top that are, again, just standing there. They haven't seemed to notice. And you do notice that down at the bottom, now that you're past that tree, there is another one of these individuals standing, just kind of standing, probably leaning on a shovel nearby one of these graves, kind of at this bottom tomb. But as you have a moment to kind of gather yourselves, you notice that the general tension of the area definitely has caused these other families to kind of notice there's something up, and all of them are beginning to make their way towards the front entrance. And you just feel like you're being watched all around. The dogs are watching you. You feel, yeah, you're just being looked at real hard.
pretty well used to that being a teacher.
True.
Kids are judgy little jerks.
What about the group that's closest to the grave? Are they making their way down too? Or
They are.
Waiting for the show.
Nope. All of the families, all of the normal civilians seem to get a general uneasiness here. It's probably the dog growling and these strange 3 people that are like they see all 3 of you, and you're all not really again going to a grave and paying your respects. You're just kind of wandering around the graveyard, and they don't really feel like you're people they want to be around right now.
Good.
They're all making their way towards the exit.
Making my way towards the exit, walking fast, homebound. Copyright strike. Do.
Georgie and Eric, you start to hear the sound of walking as the guard and the dog behind you begin to make their way, having turned around on the path, begin to make their way back towards the fence that leads towards this inner part of the graveyard. And William, as you kind of get close to the group, all 3 of you start to hear it's growling, but it is giving you all, like as if the sounds of hell itself are echoing from their stomachs, and that sound definitely causes the rest of the families to just very quickly exit stage left and get the fuck out of Dodge. So yeah, this sound, it is dark, menacing. It sounds like volcanic eruptions mixed with the cries and screams of millennia of war. It's very dark and eerie sound. Like it if its purpose is to cause fear, it is nearly there. Is
it the same sound that statue made in the pit?
No, none of you have heard a sound like this before.
Oh, fun. We need to work on our hand signals, because run away should be something easy instead of flailing your arms. And I don't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh boy.
So as you begin to count, be sure to add another as the door opens from the southern tomb, and a man steps out. 65 years old, white trimmed hair, thin white mustache, wrinkled hands. He's wearing a uniform very similar to Timothy's, soldier's uniform, and he walks out, and all of the other men kind of look down to him, and he sees you 3 standing over there, and he smiles, waves his hand up towards you, and begins to walk your way.
Okay.
Samuel.
He stops a bit short. Hello there. Can I help you with something, perhaps?
I know of you.
Oh, you know of me, do you? And he begins to walk closer. You've heard of Melville Diamond? Who are you? It's strange to know that my works here, tending to the graves, have brought me any kind of reputation. Who are you?
You interred my aunt.
Melville Diamond?
Yeah.
Am I...
You're not.
Okay. You related to Yasmin?
Ah, yes, she is my daughter. You know of Yasmin as well. She is a beauty, isn't she? Strong girl, smart girl. Yes. No. Are you her friends? No, you're not. You're not marked. You're not from the West Slums, are you? No. You're far well dressed for that. What brings you here? How do you know my daughter?
Which one of us has the badge still? The owl guy's badge.
I think you gave that to Frederic to submit.
That probably could have helped.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be blunt. You know, it's not like if he's a bad guy, he probably knows why we're here anyways. So we're looking for what's the name, the owl guy. Do we even have his name?
We do have his name.
Marin de Mesildo.
Yeah. The guy I can't say the last name of. Yeah, Marin. Have you seen him lately?
Have I'm sorry. I've seen quite a few individuals. It is my job to bury them. Is that a recently deceased family? I could.
I'm hoping not.
Are you familiar with what's going on in the West Slums?
A mess is what I would call it. An absolute mess. Yasmin, the poor girl, I'm misguided, absolutely, but just causing a mess of everything over there. It's okay. We'll get her sorted. She'll see the right way. No, but again, it doesn't seem you're from the West Slums. What? Why is it that 3 strangers seem to be so caring about this poor place?
I'm gonna whisper to these two. I don't think he's on our side.
He walks closer as you lean in to whisper. This is... Again, it's strange to find such inquisitive people here. Kind of begins to look, and you see a flicker in his eyes. Not a flicker of life. In fact,
is he walking around like the others?
He's not. You just have the feeling that there's darkness behind those eyes. There's like a shadow. But he smiles, walks a bit closer. Again, I must ask, why is it that you 3 have found yourself here on this day? You seem to know a lot of my daughter. And as you would say, the situation there in West Slums, so let me guess. You're here to change that?
We're just looking for somebody.
Right. This Marin individual. And again, I've buried quite a few people recently, so you'll have to be a bit more specific, son.
About 10 days back. Ring a bell, anybody?
He came in
Anything
alive. Probably wearing leather.
Strange man came in alive, wearing leather. Oh, yes, that fool. Yasmin's wishful quarter. Yes. No, I think I know exactly who it is you speak of. That the crazy individual wearing his funny suit, his clown suit, as it were. That's the Marin you speak of? That man?
Yes.
Right. Yes. No, he
Oops.
was not suitable for Yasmin. Not at all. No. I had him dealt with. And as he says that, like, you get chills. Like, again, he smiles.
A shame then.
Oh no. Yeah, Yasmin. She has a tendency to find just the wrong men, the absolutely wrong men. She'll figure it out in time, but for now I think she needs her space. I know she has her goals in mind right now, and it's good to keep the mind busy, idle hands and such. But no, he was far too strange for her. It belonged in the circus, not certainly not near my daughter.
Georgie just creeping her out.
So, you dealt with him in what way?
Son, I think you know. He's been dealt with as any unsuitable suitor should. A good father always protects his daughter.
You wrote an angry letter to his mother?
Funny one, aren't you? Yes, indeed. Indeed, yes. A letter to the mother, and he will not be a problem for her any further. Where are you trying to head to, Georgie?
Just a step back.
Right. Yeah, you kind of step to the side. Yeah, he's definitely like close enough that you feel his breath. And William, you're definitely getting like you hear a heartbeat. Like this man is alive. But there's something off about him.
Well, if he's no longer your problem, may we have his possessions and return them to where they belong. And then we will leave you.
He took those with him, of course. No,
Of course.
he's gone, and he needed his supplies, so we sent him with all those strange trinkets. No, there's no reason for us to keep anything like that here. We don't tend to keep the possessions of the dead. That goes to the family, of course, and well, he's not dead, so there's no reason for us to have his possession. That would be a strange assumption of you, sir, that we would keep such a thing. We run a tight operation here. Everything is above board.
No, he didn't leave you with anything.
I have no reason to see why he would. He knew my intentions, he understood, and he went on his way.
Can you tell us where he went then?
Oh, I'm afraid I would have no idea. As soon as he left here, I had no reason to keep an eye on him from then on.
Perhaps he returned to visit your daughter.
So as we're having this conversation, I'm just going to ask, is anyone trying to investigate him, like study his movements? Okay.
I definitely am.
Absolutely, Eric. Yeah, investigate this character. Get a read on him.
Yeah, I think
I am going to say, though, like, just because of his nature, he does have a hard to read, basically, he's just strange. He's very upfront, and kind of chilling. So he kind of has a shield of a status 2, hard to read.
Okay.
But yeah, no, that absolutely. You're listening to this conversation. You're watching his movements.
Okay. So, oh please, you don't expect me to fall for that one.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a tag I'm going to be using. Acutely perceptive. And I think driven to know.
Perfect.
We'll investigate this dude with those. And on the off chance that I score high, investigate is dynamite.
Yep, absolutely.
And I didn't, so never mind.
Okay.
No!
Okay, I have a question.
Yep.
Before, making it dynamite with the tag, doesn't that make it so it's an immediate success?
No.
Instead of-
Dynamite means if you roll a 12 plus, there's additional selections or a bonus that happens. Burning a tag, so if you burn a tag, means that you're getting rid of that tag until you can get it back. That makes it a 10 plus success. So
Okay.
there's a difference. Basically, if you use a specific tag for some of those rolls and you get a 12+, then you unlock the dynamite options. If you burn a tag for a roll, then it means you're getting rid of whatever that tag is, but getting a guaranteed success on it.
All right.
Yeah. So, well, Eric, I can tell you what happens. The moment that you begin to stare at him, he begins to stare back without looking at you. And there's a whisper inside your head. And you begin to feel strangely as you take a possessed 3 status. And you begin to hear the
no.
talk
Oh
of this individual. Unfortunately, Georgie and William, they don't quite notice this, as it's definitely beyond the realm of what they see and more what's going on within your own head.
Wonderful. Okay.
So William, yeah, you were saying?
I was.
I'm sorry. Before he read, I thought you were saying something.
Nope. I might have been, but I've forgotten it.
Well, as you're kind of questioning him on this Marin person, he just turns to the group. Well, I have much work to be done. And again, I'm sorry Marin's not here to speak with you himself. I'm sure he is in a much better place. Very happy that my daughter is no longer having to deal with that clown, but I wish you all to have a good day. Feel free, pay your respects, and, well, carry on. Kind of smiles and turns with a bit of glee in his step and begins to walk back towards the other tomb. Eric, you have this immense feeling that you want to leave this place with your companions. You're being pushed to leave.
Okay. Do I get to resist
Oh,
that, or
absolutely. Yeah, you're not fully possessed yet. Like, you are just feeling it. Like, it is as if he has a gun to the back of your head. Like, you feel that presence there, that he is threatening you. Leave this place. Take your friends with you, or there will be great violence, and you will join my men. Like, you feel that threat. Leave, or you will all join me.
mm, mm, mm.
She gives him a dirty. Well, she gives what's his name a dirty
Melville.
look because he turned
Absolutely.
his back.
Absolutely. I
Dirty
imagine, like,
Buster.
there's like a thing of flowers in front of the grave, and somehow the petals all form like middle fingers, just waving towards him as he walks by.
Yes. Yes.
I trying to decide how I want to play this. I think that I suggest to everybody that we do go ahead and leave right now. That sense of doom, in the sense that I'm not alone in my head, is really disturbing me. But at the same time, I'm also kind of like, this is kind of what I wanted to do. I wanted to find out about all this mysterious crap, and now I'm just gonna walk away because a guy spooked me.
Right.
I
mean, we could definitely say, like, this is a go toe-to-toe on the decision of yourself. Like, are you able to resist the influence and basically, you know, force yourself to stay? Or do you find yourself maybe being a bit more weak, I guess? Or maybe this is even more of a hard choice. Like, you literally now have the voice and threat of something controlling you, and your mystery is, like, are you really in control?
Right.
So by obeying this order to leave, are you then just another prop in your own show?
Dun dun dun.
All right. Yeah, you put it that way. I think I'm gonna have to go toe to toe with myself on this one.
Absolutely. Awesome.
Yeesh. Okay. So the drive is going to be a big part of what keeps me around.
Yeah, honestly, I almost feel like they're the thing in you right now is that your subversion is wanting you to stay and fight. I don't want to be another prop. Whereas your
Right.
training is literally like escape now,
Right.
go.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely see that. Yeah, trying to see if I've got any other tags that I can apply here. I don't honestly think that I do. Yeah, so I guess I've just got a 1 on going toe to toe. So let's see what
Alright.
happens with this internal struggle. Oops, I pushed the wrong button. I did not push the roll button.
Well, don't do that.
Okay.
Yeah, close enough.
You have the restraint to stay, but I think the question is, by kind of using that mythical side, right? You're saying, I will not be a prop. I want to learn more about the mystics and how that works so that I can use it better for myself. Do you feel like maybe part of your training on escaping is maybe fading a little bit? Like you're leaning...
I think so.
Yeah, it's just you're noticing maybe it's not about escaping all the time. It's turning the situation better to my advantage.
Right.
Yeah. So as identities begin to crack, it just means that the statement you made is starting to change. You no longer feel the same way about it, or you're starting to doubt what it is. As it begins to fade, it does have story elements as well. It just means that you're not as tapped in to that part of yourself. So we don't have to see that now, but keep that in mind as we start going through. Is you've noticed now, like, I can use this mystical side of me to protect me in ways that escaping protected me in the past. And yeah, well, we'll see how that plays out. I think for Eric and Georgie, for Georgie and William, you see Eric take a step forward, but then stop and take a deep breath. You all, as the door closes, as Melville heads inside, you all begin to hear that growling again, and the other men seem to again notice, watching, seeing if you're going to go. But that growling, it's deep, it's menacing. But you all probably noticed something about Eric. Like, that step forward, it looked more like how these men walk than Eric walks. Like, it just seems forced, almost like it was pushed. Like if something was behind him and he was pushed forward and he has to stop, catch himself.
I'm not ready to leave yet. I want to search that tomb.
Right, absolutely. The question is how?
Yeah, but
yeah.
we've got literally 2 and maybe half of a person part of our crew right now, so
We don't know anything wrong with Eric.
well, something's weird about him. Because
Do
he
you
was
want-
just standing still.
Does Georgie
gonna
want to
shake him.
investigate Eric?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, you notice that there's something on about him. So you take some time to, like, look into his eyes. What's going on with you?
Give them a shake.
It's I think he got in my head a little bit.
Yeah, and you feel like you saying that it hurts a bit, but you're still right now. You just made that decision. You feel your mythos outweighing his, but it's there. Like, don't spill anymore. Don't tell them anymore. Leave. You still hear that ringing. Leave this place. Get out. Leave, or you will become one of my men. One of my men. Like, he's very specific about that.
He's threatening to make me one of them. Make all of us one of them.
Ooh, yeah. I think
All right.
I'm gonna have her investigate, but I think as you continue to spill the secrets, we might have something else. So let's go. You're hearing these words. They are forced out of his lips, as if his lips themselves want to keep the words behind them.
All right. So let's see.
Don't I? I did research and study just for this, didn't I?
You definitely studied into the occult and the dead and all that stuff. So, yeah.
There's an 8.
Perfect. Yeah, 2 questions. You know, you look at them, there's something weird. What questions would you ask? And these can either be questions you ask him directly or more you're asking about how he's acting and all that.
Has he got control over you? Like, physically?
Yeah, as you...
Asking, like, Eric.
Mm-hmm. And depending on how he answered, I will still say, based on what you see, the same dark kind of... The darkness behind Melville's eyes is behind Eric's eyes. But as far as if he's in control, that's up to you, Eric. I will say, though, that any more information that you... You know what? I'll give you this. If you don't answer, if you keep these in, I will let you mark attention to your mythos theme. However, if you do answer, if you decide to answer, you will be taking a risk to do so.
Oh, that's a hard choice.
Well, it's not in a strictly metagamey sense. It's not that hard a choice because I'm already at 3 attention on my mythos theme.
Right. Yeah, it's just...
Yeah.
Again, I think in the story, you feel... You can't get an answer to this if you don't deal with it yourself.
Right. So,
Georgie, you definitely see the shadow behind his eyes, but Eric, it's up to you. She asks you, has he taken over you physically?
no, not at all. I just kind of like wave my hands a little bit. No, it's not, we don't need to worry about it right now. I'm okay.
She hears it, but she doesn't believe him.
Right.
Alright. Well then, if you're capable, you might try and see about that casket on the wagon over there. And or
Okay.
the tomb.
And
so, have your wits about you.
Yeah, I've got it. But we've got a couple of friends to deal with before. Pretty sure they're not going to let me just walk up and start playing with that.
Right.
Yeah, and that all of the friends appear to be looking towards you. The dogs, again, they're not growling as crazy as they were, but they're definitely, snarling. And the other 3 have just moved. They're not approaching you. It seems like they're expecting you all to leave, and they're just waiting for you to do that.
Should we leave and circle back? These things aren't really that smart. The dogs are. The dogs are my concern. These
Where's your inquisitive
shamblers.
soul?
My inquisitive soul is saying, if we don't want to kill these things right here and right now, we're going to have to sneak back around, which I'm okay with doing, but they're going to keep watching us until we make some kind of a move.
They're dead. They're not going anywhere. They'll be here all night.
What I'm saying is they'll be less attentive if we actually leave, and then we can sneak back around. And while they're, not noticing, I can try to see what I can get at inside the coffin or inside the mausoleum.
Right.
Unless you'd like to keep them distracted while I do this.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, I could distract somebody. I run over and punch a dog. No.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
No. just suplex the dog into the tree. Take that, dog! Ha
The other thing is he just talked a lot about Yasmin, and you all do remember that list that had a whole bunch of names on it. So if this was not the place you wanted to be at this exact moment, you would still be able to, again, you'd have to find a way in. But going and talking to Yasmin might bring more information, or at least the other Silva names that were on that list, maybe what that list was about too. So there are other things you can do, but I'm all down for sneaking around and punching dogs. I'm cool with that too.
I don't know why I have it in my head that I remember her saying that her dad died.
Yeah, you definitely remember that.
Yeah, she did.
100%.
Like
And
that
her-
shouldn't be him.
And her husband.
Granddad. Oh, her husband. That was
Yep.
it.
Didn't she shoot one or both of them directly?
Her husband. Yep.
Okay.
Her father died of old age. Just died of being old. Clearly.
Is he still
Obviously.
walking into the
No,
building?
the door's been closed, and that's when all of them have just pulled their attention towards the three of you. And this graveyard, it's definitely eerie now. Like, even though it's a nice day, this tree's causing far too many shadows than it should. There's no foliage on it, but there's definitely shadows. The snarling of the dogs are menacing, and I mean, you're used to this. You're from the Order. You signed up to be the literal lights in the darkness to fight back the things that go bump in the night. I mean, you're kind of surrounded by them right now.
Used to that. Might
if you
get us
guys-
into all kind of trouble.
If you guys go one way and I kind of try to slip out of sight, maybe they'll just focus their attention on you, and you won't necessarily have to start a fight with them, because I feel like if you start a fight with one of them, you're starting a fight with all of them, and we don't know what else he's got stuffed in those mausoleums.
I feel like either way, it's going to be a fight.
But I am a master of stealth.
Yes. Well then, let us
And she talks to
head-
plants, and I punch people. This isn't going to go well either way.
Right. No, it actually hardly ever does.
Life in the Order.
I'm going to. Dang it.
I'll follow y'all. Y'all,
Alright.
you want to fight? We'll fight. You want to run? You run. You want to sneak? I'll.
So, William, come with me. Eric, go the other way once they start following us.
Yep.
Alright, I'm gonna start heading south, but I'm gonna actually stick pretty close to the tree.
Okay.
That way.
I'm gonna head over to this grave for a quick second and pay my respects with air quotes,
Mm-hmm.
and then try to disappear from sight.
Okay.
Those of the guys that are watching. So
Yeah. Does anybody have any help for Eric? We could just
Yes.
perfect. Yeah, we'll just say that again. It's story tag or a tier 1 status of just distracted, so you can definitely go ahead and use that. And this is going to be sneak around, as you just like take a knee to pay respects. You're hoping that they're making enough noise that all of their eyes are just watching those two, and you just kind of sneak away. Sneak around and
sneak around.
yeah.
Alrighty.
I mean, this is a very hostile crowd. I mean, very much so.
Absolutely. Probably not. Probably none more hostile.
Right.
So, yeah, I will. Sure, I'll slap that weakness in there. Yeah, that sounds good. Let's see what we get. God, why?
No.
Oh, the dice are not my friend. Oh,
You
I got the thing. Hold on. Once you describe what's happened.
So
here.
yeah, you all begin walking away, and it does seem for a moment that everyone else is absolutely kind of paying attention towards you. So you lean down, you kind of bring your head to pay respects, and then you just hear a loud, "Insolent child," as your head is smashed against the tombstone. And yeah, I need you to face danger against a tier 2 smashed head status, as yeah, you feel your head like just banging right into that solid piece of stone.
okay. Well, that's no fun.
Okay. Hold on.
I'm not sure William knows any of this is happening. I think William would have had to know to be able to step in here, because you're walking away from him, and this all happened in his head, and he just, rocked out
Well.
with his head out and dropped it. But if you have a way of you knowing this, that we'll definitely talk.
I guess not. I mean, no. That's just a power tag. That's not gonna help any. Never mind. Yep, you screwed.
So yeah, face danger. That possessed status, unfortunately, is going to play a part here, because that's the reason you're doing it. And yeah, no, unfortunately, he got on your head, man, and he's mad. He just called you a child.
Yeah.
He's
Let's see. Just trying to see what I can throw onto this.
right, absolutely.
I'm gonna go with crowd pleaser, and you don't expect me to fall for that, because yeah.
Yeah, and again, that makes sense to me, because again, you're trying to, in a way, please that mythical side of yourself. Like, hey,
Yeah.
he just tried to take control of me, and I'm not gonna let him. Perfect. I love the
And
inner
it's-
battle in Eric right now.
Yeah, that's the name of the game today. So this is what, go toe to toe or face
This
danger.
is
You
face
said, yeah.
danger. Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So it's a graze, basically. Like, you feel your head going by, and I think you're able to just turn your face enough that you just catch the backside, like it gets kind of rubbed down the back of the stone, and you find yourself laying down on the ground. It definitely seems no one has noticed you do this. Like, you're just down on the ground, and yeah, Georgie and William, you guys make yourself to make your way to the front gate, and you look back, and Eric's gone. He's not there. You still take a tier 1 grazed status.
Okay.
Yeah, it seems for the moment you have been successful in your distraction, and Eric has seemingly disappeared, nowhere to be seen. I think with that, as you guys kind of head out, and you can make your plan once you get out there, let's take a quick break and just see what kind of adventures we have in Melville's Black Ruins.
Let's see how many more rolls
madness.
I can botch.
The madness of the rolls. Yeah, so we'll be back in 5, and we'll go from there.
All right. Be back in a bit.
Mhm.